You're watching News 19's Friday Night Blitz, sponsored by Prismian Group of Lexington.
And it is the Week 0 edition of the Friday Night Blitz. Welcome back, high school football. Everyone, at some point, we're going to all call it Week 1, but on this night, it's Week 0, and not everybody plays, but we did have some that tried to play. Chapin and Airport were set to play, but that game was canceled due to a COVID situation with Airport. Now, we will start with our featured matchup. It takes us to Kershaw County. Camden hosting Gray Collegiate Academy. The Bulldogs made it to the Class 3A state championship game last December, lost to a high-powered Daniel team. There is Georgia State commit Casey Adams for Gray Collegiate Academy. He'll be playing for our pal Sean Elliott at Georgia State. Sean is a former Camden Bulldog, helped the Bulldogs win a state championship back in the day. And Casey, see what he could do against Sean's former team. Pick up the action in the first quarter. You saw Grayson White in the Wildcat. Big pickup there. 15-yard field goal, 15-yard pickup, which sets up a field goal, giving the Dogs an early 3-0 advantage. A few minutes later, bad snap leads to Trey Robinson having to improvise a little bit. But he ends up finding his man along the sidelines for a first down. And then 3 plays later, the aforementioned Casey Adams will cap off the drive with a 2-yard touchdown. And that gives Gray Collegiate Academy the advantage. Second quarter now. Adam Holmes watching his playmaker do it again. That's another first down. Camden did not have an answer for number 17. Later in the drive, it's Casey doing Casey things. Scores another touchdown, giving the Eagles a 2-score advantage, and Gray Collegiate Academy goes on to win it by a final of 26-6 over Camden. Big road win for the War Eagles. Down the road at Lugoff Elgin, former Gamecock and former Carolina Panther Matt Campbell and his Demons hosting River Bluff. Second half action, Trace Nettles takes the handoff, busts his way to a big gain inside the 10-yard line for the Gators. 3 plays later, the visitors pounce. Hunter Shepard finds Apollos Cook, and he taps his way in for a 5-yard touchdown. Cramped up a little bit, but he was fine. That kind of night. River Bluff has a 21-7 advantage. Next Gator possession, Trace does it again, takes a handoff, gets inside the 5. Now this drive wouldn't be capped off with a touchdown because a high snap would lead to the Demons scooping up the football. The Lugoff Elgin trying to make something happen as their defense comes up with a turnover. But 2 plays later, the momentum switches the other way as Thomas Powell gets the INT. That'll give the ball back to River Bluff, and the Gators go on the road and they defeat Lugoff Elgin by a final of 28-7. Next week, Lugoff Elgin and Camden will square off in the Wateree River rivalry. All right, let's go to Harry Perone Stadium. Whitenoll hosting Spring Valley. Gorgeous night on the campus of Spring Valley High School. There's Nick Pelham, the new head football coach at Whitenoll High School. The past 5 years, he's been the defensive coordinator at Dutch Fork. Get his guys fired up. For Spring Valley, DeQuandre Smith is going to dump it off to Kenneth Jefferson. Breaks a few tackles. And he's loose in space. Thought he might score, but instead he is taken down around, looks like around the 10-yard line or so, but still the Vikings are in business. Now, Spring Valley has it. The Whitenoll defense comes up big for a stop, so Spring Valley in a long yardage situation, and that would lead to a chip shot field goal by Justin McElveen, so Spring Valley has a 17-0 advantage on the Timberwolves. Now watch this here. Smith to Deshaun Mingo. They ruled it incomplete. Oh, I thought he had it. Not quite. Inches, but I think it was the right call. If our pal Dennis O'Keefe had been officiating, it would have been the wrong call, but that guy there, he made the right call. 23-0, Spring Valley wins it by a final over Whitenoll. Okay, Ridgeview hosting Westwood. The Blazers' new on-campus facility has hosted some games before. This is the first football game for the permanent home. They've really done it nice. And there's new head coach Derek Howard of the Blazers. He was the quarterback on the very first Ridgeview team. Now he made his debut as the head coach at his alma mater. Taking a little selfie action with his son Trey. A little family time before the start of the third quarter. Here we go, Andre Washington to Chase Smith. Good yardage there. Now, you know what happened eventually. We had roughly about a 30-minute delay or so We had this story earlier in our newscast, but the good news is no shots were fired. And really kudos to Ridgeview, the officials there. Nobody panicked. Everybody kept things in order. The players, they were ready to get back out on the field. Bristol County Sheriff's Department also did a good job of maintaining order. And there you see the players. They got to warm back up, get loose. And once the game resumed, it's Washington to Smith. And just like that, that is another Ridgeview touchdown. We had a little bit of drama, but Ridgeview goes on to defeat Westwood 40-20, giving Derek Howard a win in his debut as the new head football coach at Ridgeview, South Carolina. All right, the first half of the Friday Night Blitz is in the books. Stay with us. More highlights coming up, including reigning state champions of Class 5A in action on the road against Wren. We'll have those highlights next in sports.